Good morning, Nigeria. It's another fresh episode of Raise Breakfast, hashtag What Are You Saying? The platform where young voices take over pressing conversations as it concerns us all. And it's with great pleasure that I'll be serving as anchor for today's program. My name is Oluchi Omenka, and of course, I am not riding solo. I'm here with the delectable ladies. Allow me to introduce to you God's Beauty Israel and Nukikiola Taiwo Jalopon. Hi, ladies.
Hi, Bestie. How are you? Good morning.
Why is this all starting with Babele this morning?
I don't understand these two people on the set sometimes.
How are you, ladies?
I'm fine.
I'm good.
How are you feeling this morning? I mean, I know there's this thing that is trending on Instagram and social media handles where everybody's complaining about resuming work.
Right.
You see different stuff like,
Right.
I'm so happy to be
True.
at work. I even saw one skit yesterday that made me laugh. So this guy, Jay on air, I'm sure you guys know him. He was doing this skit about different workers that are resuming.
Yeah.
He did one about the happy ones that are ready to show their new outfit like me. And other, different kinds of display. And it was so
Yeah.
amazing. So I'm wondering to ask you guys, do you feel that way? How do you feel resuming work? Are you amongst the toxic workers that are like, I'm coming to meet this Oluchi again, God, I beg.
And that would
Let's
only
just go
happen
through.
if you're in a toxic environment. Yes.
I think me, it's just a feel of everything, showing off a new outfit,
I can see
getting
that.
stressed, thinking about how we are resuming after holidays. Because me, I had like the longest of holidays because I need to tell you guys, it was my birthday.
She
5
celebrates her
days
birthday
ago.
for a whole
Oh,
month.
please.
And we're not done with it till 31st of January. So let's get ready.
Nancy
Even in
did not do past
February,
this one.
when people start celebrating Valentine's Day, I'll still remind you that it was my birthday.
Wow.
30-something
Interesting.
days
It's
ago.
called main character syndrome.
Thank you.
But how was the holidays, to start with? I know that we're just starting breakfast show after a short break, and now we're back. But we had the holidays. So how was it for you guys?
My holiday was full of enjoyment. And I mean, it also
What
got
was the
me...
highlights? Just give me one.
Her
My
birthday.
birthday?
Which other highlights
What,
did you find?
what do you want?
Oh, God.
To be born
I want
the
to hear
first...
something else.
Tell me, just listen, to be born the first of a new year.
Right.
What other highlight do
I
you
mean,
It
want?
takes over the
Special
celebration
persons.
of the new
No,
year
it doesn't.
itself.
What
So
it
you're
does is that
concentrating on
it
your
spikes
birthday.
it. It spikes
I don't think it does.
Whether you like
My
it or
mom
not,
is
you will
born on
celebrate
that same
me.
day as well.
And you
So
guys
there's
were
always this
concentrated on her
thought,
birthday
yeah,
or the new
yeah.
year.
Both of them.
Both of them. Okay, so God's Beauty, what was the highlight for you? You had birthday too.
Apart from the fact that it was my mom's birthday, I mean, I think it was a time for me to kind of reflect on what the things that have happened in 2024 and what should happen moving forward, right? So career-wise, financially, personally, spiritually, so yeah, that's how it was for me.
So
They
there was no
it was
obole for you.
yeah, instead, it was a roller coaster of emotions. Like, there are just a lot of things I'm feeling at the same time. And it has been happening to me since the 25th of
December.
Yeah. When we entered, I was having a conversation with my friend, and the person was like, I'm very sure you must have, tail chicken and all of these things. Yeah, we did all of those stuff, but I'll be going with what you said yesterday. I was just feeling a lot calmer. I was just somewhere and like, this is like one of the
comes
normal
with
regular
adulthood.
days. So instead of me having to do all those jumpy, my baby sis was all jumpy actually.
Why would
my
she
mom
be?
was her birthday, so she was all jumpy.
Yeah.
But me and my dad, we were just somewhere thinking ahead, what's going
Bills
on?
of
Do you understand? And some people are jumping over.
Interesting. Mine was it was very interesting for me because I had to do something I've not done in a long time. If you check my post on Instagram, you see that I did a vlog and I visited my hometown after 16 years. You
Oh.
guys, 16 good
Mine is
years.
20 and
Let's not talk
counting.
of the outside duties I did, but it was cool having to connect with families, extended families that I have not seen in a
In a
while.
long time.
Some of them were shocked to see me, and I learned new things about the Igbo tradition because I did attend wedding ceremonies and. Oh my God, you guys.
Lord God.
It's amazing. I've watched Igbo traditional wedding on TikTok, Instagram. Maybe some of them I attended, but that
Yeah.
village own hits differently. And I knew that this was one trip I had to make memorable. But we're back to work and we're back to talk about conversations that, inspires us and is really important for us to talk about. So if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? This is 2025. This is New Year, New You. So please head over to our YouTube channel, subscribe, click on the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and always be part of our conversation. Let's run on this quick break. When we return, we'll look at the headlines making waves across the Nigerian newspaper.
Looking to take your business to the next level through partnerships? Then join us every Thursday at 10 a.m. for Partner Up.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, marketing, sales, or partnership professional, Partner Up is here to give you the tools you need to succeed.
From in-depth interviews with industry experts
To real-world case studies of successful partnership strategies that drive innovation and business growth.
we dive deep into what it takes to form successful partnerships.
Thursdays, 10 a.m.
Don't miss Partner Up.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for sticking with us. This is still Waves Breakfast. Now, we want to look at the headlines making waves across Nigerian newspaper. We have The Punch, The Vanguard, and The New York Times. I'll be starting with The Punch. The major headline reads, New Year Message. APC tackles obedient as Obi alleges threat to life. Obi playing politics of bitterness, says APC. Nigeria transforming into repressive regime, says ex-governors. Court clash. Aiyedatiwa declares curfew as mother and baby ex-youth leader and others killed. 33 ex-workers sue CBN over sacking, demand 30 billion naira. JAM generated 22.9 billion naira, remitted 6 billion naira to federal government. Woman who caused Sheyi Tinubu IG gets 10 million naira bail. EFCC sacks 27 corrupt officers and probes $400,000 fraud complaint. And above that, we see Northwest bandits fleeing to Oyo. Makinde cries out. Trump proposes U.S.-Canada merger as Trudeau resigns. OAGF indicts NNPCL in 514 billion naira transactions. And on retirement, we see top generals get $20,000 medical allowances, bulletproof SUV, amongst others. What a way to retire. But let's look at what's really pressing. And that's the banter between APC and the Labour Party candidate, Peter Obi. I'll read the full story for you, and trust me, it is as interesting as it says. It says here that the ruling All Progressive Congress and supporters of the Labour Party presidential candidates in the 2023 elections, Peter Obi, engaged themselves in a war of words on Monday over an alleged threat to the life of the former Anambra State governor. The hostility was a fallout of Sunday's interview where the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Felix Morka, claimed that the former Anambra governor had crossed the line in his recent criticism of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. An emotional Morka claimed that Obi was desperately seeking to incite Nigerians into bringing down the current government. And the APC spokesman subsequently ended his argument with a subtle threat of he has coming to him whatever he gets. And Mr. Obi is shooting from the hip. He's not looking or taking an aim. He just shoots widely like the Wild West movies, and we used to see in those back days. And a lot of things, Sha, but the way it's looking like is a banter between representative from the APC and Peter Obi. And I think based on this word, I can agree that this looks like a threat to life, because how would you say he should be ready to get what is coming to him? What are your thoughts about this?
So I think that most of the time when people maybe employ or appoint spokesmen, there is no check and balance with what should be said and what shouldn't be said. And sometimes spokesmen always forget that they're a representation of the organization or the political party that they're representing. So when they say some things, it goes like over and beyond what the party will expect them to say. And I think in my own newspaper, there's a part where they now said that APC has absolved him from his position, maybe temporarily or permanently, we don't know. But at least they took the initiative to know that he said something wrong.
But do you think the claim for which he must have made that outburst is actually legit, owing to the fact that Peter Obi has recently been so antagonistic towards the current administration. He always has something to say.
I
So
think
maybe
it's
out
a
of
political
frustration,
thing.
you have to say something is coming for you.
It's
This
not
man.
really. It's not really. It's a political thing.
Exactly.
It's not the first time
So,
that somebody is being threatened. They've threatened people over and over again. I mean, even down to councillors.
Yeah.
There's always a threat to life, whether true or untrue. And sometimes when they are even talking, maybe in a small office space, they might have said, what I will show that guy. And just because they said that, somebody will go and tweet it and say it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in politics, there's always the game of they threatened me, they said they were going to kidnap me, they destroyed it, they destroyed that. Some true, some untrue. So for Obi, I feel like it's just a 2027 drama that is happening.
That's happening, true.
Tomorrow,
Looming.
Tinubu can wake up and say that LP did something to him. It's just a political drama that is going on. And I'm just watching it unfold. I don't
The fact
even
that
take those things
2027 is
serious
closer
again.
to us than we expect. More drama will start to unfold. But I love what you mentioned about checks and balances. And I believe that in this life, you cannot be held for what you did not say.
I mean,
so, I mean, it's carefulness.
They say freedom of speech. Freedom after
After
speech is
speech
not
is on you.
certain. But freedom of speech, yes. So let me just quickly take us through the Vanguard newspaper. The headline reads, thousands face life-threatening ailment from lead poisoning. That's varsity dons, medical practitioners, farmers raise concern. Ebonyi government flays federal government for poor supervision of miners. Laments miners fail to implement agreements with communities to provide amenities. Another story reads, 2 killed, 2 others injured as explosion rocks school in Abuja. These are the headline on the Vanguard newspaper. Are like too many sad stories, and
many.
I don't know. Another story here reads, Sokoto SSG loses daughter, 3 grandchildren, house help to fire. In Ondo cult war again, an APC chieftain, his mom, child, and 2 others shot dead. One other story here says, court grants 10 million naira bail to lady detained for threatening Tinubu's son, says IGP. And the last but not the least story here on the sports news says, Osimhen is the highest rated player in Turkish Super League. But all of the story here just...
It's just bad news.
It's just bad news. Even one story here reads, Agbo tanker explosion. I saw my wife
I saw
on
that.
the ground burning.
Hey.
Like, it's...
Jesus.
I don't even know what
That's
to talk about here. It's
traumatizing,
almost
though.
like everything is just... It's sad. Like, it's too sad. Lead poisoning, 2 people injured, dead from explosion. There's tanker explosion. People are being lost to fire. They shot people. See, I just feel like people need to, or we as Nigerians need to now take being our brother's keeper seriously, because I can see now that maybe this AC or the AC in the studio is bringing out fire. I might feel like it's none of my business. Somebody else should check it. And then I leave. And then the thing, maybe the next day is not having that issue anymore. I feel like, okay, maybe they have fixed it. And then one day the thing just goes poof in our faces. And then maybe I might even die from that issue, but I will not be able to say that, and I saw it last week. So I feel like we should now take cognizance of our environment, what's wrong, what's going on. If there's a tanker explosion, what happened to the tanker to start with? Is it that there was something that was wrong with the brake before they moved and they felt like the driver was saying, me, Agba driver, I've been driving for
You know
the
one
past
thing with
30
these drivers,
years."
I'll tell you one experience coming back from the east during the holidays. So, you know, I think that around that Benin area, there are a lot of tankers and all of those trucks that pass alongside normal commercial vehicles.
Yeah.
Do you know, I just like looked through the window and guess what I saw? The driver was actually smoking whilst driving. And this is a road that is very narrow. If you know how that Benin road is, it's narrow, there are a lot of bushes, and tankers and commercial vehicles are trying to pass one lane and you are smoking. It just takes one puff, one throwing away of that stick, and everybody is going to lose their life. So this thing, it cuts across a lot of
lines.
things. So let's see the New York Times.
All right.
Hopefully there's no bad news there.
There's none actually, just Trump being, very dramatic as usual. Okay, so honestly
let them hear you. That's it.
but the right side of the newspaper, we have how the Democrats lost the working class vote, but the left side, signs of CTE vexed soldier in Vegas blast. Next to that, on the run, a hitman gives a final confession. Beneath that, disaster, no, Trump inherits nation in pretty good shape. Bottom of the newspaper, midlife women, sexy, poor culture catches up. Next to that, which is the last headline on the newspaper, we have if Plains was his home, Atlanta was his stage. So the one I want to talk on is the one that has Trump in it. Like I said, it says disaster. No, Trump inherits nation in pretty good shape. So, I mean, that's what it said. But according to Trump, he did not inherit it in a good shape. Let me read this. It says, Trump describes the nation as being in crisis, marked by crime, economic decline, and chaos, dubbing it as a disaster. You can imagine. But by key metrics, it says the country is doing well. America is not at war for the first time in decades. We have murderers are down. Illegal immigration has decreased. The economy is robust with rising jobs, wages, and domestic energy production. So honestly speaking, like I said, this is just Trump being dramatic. Again, it might just be the New York Times giving us a side of the story. Because I mean, I feel like this is not new. If a Trump wakes up tomorrow and say there's somewhere in America that he needs to quench and that place is on fire, I feel like that's just him, probably him exaggerating or something. But he came out to say that the country, the way he's looking at it, there's still crime. If to him, it feels like it's still in total disaster.
There's no incoming president that ever meets the nation in good shape. Even if it was, they will look at something that is crooked, so that it looks like I'm the Messiah coming in.
Exactly. So I think that's what Trump is doing. And that's all I have for you.
We've had a very interesting ride with the headline stories across the globe. Now we'll take another short break, and when we return, we're still on our New Year series. We'll be discussing how to overcome challenges in the new year. Let's take the short break. We'll be right back.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Welcome back to the show, dearest viewers. So as mentioned earlier today, we are opening up the conversation to what's on everyone's mind at this time of the year. We'll be discussing overcoming last year's challenges. It's a new year, and with it comes the opportunity for fresh beginnings, bold plans, and renewed energy. But as we step into this new chapter, it's important to reflect on the challenges we faced last year and how they shaped us. Overcoming these obstacles is not just about moving on, it's about learning, growing, and using those lessons to make this year even better. This morning, we'll be diving deep into the highs and lows of last year, sharing personal stories and exploring how we can collectively rise above those challenges to embrace the possibilities of 2025. It's going to be an engaging and honest one. Guys, are you ready? You know, talking about challenges is something people shy away from because everybody likes to have it all figured out. I don't know if you agree with that. Yeah. Everybody likes to put up this face like, oh, I have my life figured out. I don't have challenges. I don't want to appear as I'm needy of help. And that's why, I mean, in school, because I did study guidance and counseling, and we're looking at the reason why our course, so to say, is not thriving in the Nigerian space or even in Africa. And they mentioned that, how many people in Nigeria do you know come and tell you that I'm having a problem? Everybody just wants to put up that hard guy, like, I'm figuring it out, I'm a man, I'm a woman. Why do you want to share your problems? I even saw something that say, if you share your problem, it's a gist for another person. But of course, this is the new year.
Which ironically is the truth.
I know you agree. It's the truth. I just love your personality on this table because what will it be like if you don't have a gut positivity
God, I
on
beg.
this table. Everyone will just be agreeing. It's fine. It's fine. I love it. So let's look at reflecting on last year and how we can better 2025. So I know I mentioned that it's going to be very personal, right? God's beauty. Personal. So I want to start with, what were the biggest challenges you faced in 2025?
Let's start with your Kiki.
Let's start with you.
Keep arguing. When you're ready, the audience will listen.
Oh my
What were
God.
the biggest challenges?
Biggest challenges. That's the thing. I don't consider things to be challenges. That's where I will
Yeah,
start
that
with that.
African I explained.
No. That's not it. Not because of I don't see it as challenges. The thing is, when I go into one, I see it as a way of like a stepping stone to go higher, to get better, right? I remember having a discussion with my mom. That should be last week, right? Because I was still home at that time, and we were talking about every disappointment is a blessing and all. And there's something she wanted, and somehow he didn't come. So I'm like, okay, don't worry. This disappointment will automatically turn to a blessing. She didn't get it at that time. She was like, I need this thing. And guess what? Something bigger came. And it was then she now remembered that, oh, Beauty said this thing. So she came to meet me and like, true, what you said is true. I'm like, person I talk cannot be lying now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So that's literally how I don't think I don't see things as challenges. I just see them as a way of, getting higher or getting bigger. So I would say that most of the things that I like, that would maybe I would see as challenges. Yeah, let me give this perfect example. So I'm not one of those persons, or let me just say, I didn't have the leverage of having to get a lot of certificates at some point because of, family background. I needed to like do a lot of things personally now that, okay, my parents were not able to take care of, right? So that was a bit challenging for me because even though I am very good at this, if I say, okay, I want to work here, there will be that, oh, yes, are you certified this, or I do have a certificate on this. So because of that, I'm not able to reach, like...
It's limiting.
Exactly. It was very limiting for me. I could not get to probably a particular place that I'm supposed to get to. And that's why I took my time. Now I understand it that, okay, I need to get this, in order for me to get there, right? So what I'm doing now is taking those courses now, so that I can get there. And that's, if you remember yesterday, I was telling you that, this year now is that year that I understand that it's time for me to leave this place that I am and move on. So that's it.
Interesting. Okay, Kim, what do you have to say? That deep breath says that I've been through
God,
a lot.
I beg.
I remember that throughout last year, every time I start anchoring on Mondays, I'm always talking about, see, my weekend, my weekend. So it was more like every week something was
going
up
on
for me. It was not like huge challenges, but I'll just be like, waiting be this. Why is there traffic? It's a challenge. Why is there no water in the house? It's a challenge. Why is there no lights? It's a challenge. So everything, I just saw them as challenges, and I just felt like the only way I could just get over them was to talk about it.
Yeah.
And for someone like me, it's just to talk about it and move on. I'm not necessarily talking about it so that you can take it up and advise me. I feel don't talk finish, and then when you start advising, I'm like, that's exactly what I did. But thank you for listening. That's just all I wanted you to do. Just listen. I don't need your advice. Sometimes when I even make bad decisions, and you're like, but you should have done. I told you now. It's my challenge. I've done it the way I want to do it. But thank you for listening. So last year for me was just every week in, week out, I was just having a few things. I won't consider them like huge challenges, but I'm just saying that challenges can be things that are
small,
very simple,
small
cases like that. So that was it for me last year. I was just always exhausted, every week exhausted by something, somewhat, even things that don't necessarily mean anything. I was just stressed by it, but I just got up trying to, continue. I mean, because of my kind of I'm a very spontaneous person. So I need something that is exciting, or something that I'm looking forward to, or something, a bit of challenge, let me just put it like that, to get me interested. If something becomes like a routine or becomes boring to me, trust me, I will make sure that there's challenge in that so that I can
You look for trouble.
Yes, I can get excited to do something about it. So that's how my own.
You guys have mentioned very interesting things. Now let me talk about my own 2024.
Okay.
I did face a lot of challenges, and this is not to sound like
No, I got you.
anything.
I feel you.
We're trying to be vulnerable here and just place it on the table. I did face a lot of challenges, and it was tailored mostly to personal development.
Okay.
So somebody put out a post that made me reflect on my own self, and I noticed that a lot of things that hindered me from reaching that height that I know that I can reach at this time
Do you get?
was, I listed them out. There was indiscipline, there was comparisons. Do you understand? And it made me realize that, are you really ready for this growth that you're always
Always
talking
looking for.
about and talking about? And it was a very major one for me. So I know that, yes, there's patience in building. There's patience in trying to reach a certain height. There's
Yeah.
patience. You know that if you start up on this path, it shouldn't just happen in 1 year that you have gotten here.
Yeah.
Maybe in 5, 10 years, you should achieve that. But you also know that in 1 year, I shouldn't also still be here.
here.
I should have been able to do this and
Yes,
do that. And I
yes.
was able to trace it. You know, like you said, you're a very spontaneous person, and you can, you know,
Easily detect.
exactly. So I say, for my own self, I am a very self-aware person. I don't deceive myself at all. Can be very honest enough to know what has gone wrong. Now, it can now be a different one to try to now get it right. Do you understand? So I looked at it and I noticed that indiscipline was a very major challenge for me in 2024. It's not like I didn't know what to do. It's just that sometimes there was the, what's that word? Is it the apathy to even go about doing it? Now, that indiscipline even looks like a very big grammar, because if you break it down, there are other things that are, you know, undertoned. Do you understand? And then there was also the killer of joy, comparisons. Right? You're comparing what you're... I think at this 2025 that we're in, I'm going to take, you know, breaks from social media at different points. Yes, at different points.
Coming from
Now,
you?
Yes, coming from
Amen.
me. I'm going to use social media to my advantage. I'm going to
Okay.
use it to develop my brand, use it for our shows, and I will be there consistently. But when I mean breaks from things that appear as though they are trying to just sell you something that will make you to start comparing. That's the
No,
kind
but
of
I
breaks
think
I'm
they are
talking
healthy.
of.
I think one time I actually deleted WhatsApp for a whole year. Like, if I started with 1 week, I was like, I will not download this WhatsApp back. I don't
No, I
care.
can't do for WhatsApp, because how would you reach out to me? I think
I did
it's
for
Instagram that I
WhatsApp
want to
1
do.
year. And if I wanted to get through to anybody, I just made phone calls. But before I went off, I was like, any business call, this, that, my
Reach
email
out to
is
this.
open. But you see WhatsApp, I am not coming to WhatsApp. And I went on for 1 whole year.
Oh, that's
and
a
then I
lot.
couldn't believe it that me 1 year
Nothing
without
happened.
WhatsApp, the whole joy of posting on my status, doing this, hearing somebody talk, seeing other people's status. So I missed that for 1 whole year. And I felt like I was fine. And within that 1 year, I actually saw a very significant difference in my life. That thing that when somebody's posting a new car, posting how their day went, and their day is going better than yours, and all of those stuff. So when you mentioned comparison, I just thought about it that, okay, that was what actually made me delete WhatsApp. I was like, WhatsApp is just full of one facade. Everybody's trying to put something up.
Something
on,
all put together, and you're wondering what's really going on with my own
Yes,
life. I think
exactly.
it's
So
Instagram
I just
for me,
deleted
because I
it.
use the app more than I even use WhatsApp. I mean, I'm always scrolling on Instagram. I don't know how you're going to review me, but that's it. So I also noticed another challenge that I faced was, I was telling somebody that in your 20s, navigating the dynamics of relationship is very different. It's very different. I had to start asking myself to define what relationship was over and over and over and over again. What friendship actually means. As someone who is very emotionally invested in people, I had some fallout, some, you know, so I took some things more seriously than I should have. That caused me emotional distress.
Yeah.
I'm telling you the truth.
That happens.
Emotional emotional distress. So one day I sat and I realized that, Precious, why are you taking so many things to heart a lot? And I
You
realized
see?
that, don't blame me, whoever is speaking to me right now. I am in my 20s, and at
Even
this time
there.
of my life, I'm trying to understand what friendship means, what relationship should be, and how the different dynamics can grow with time. So those were my major challenges. What do you want to say, God's rating?
Nothing,
You're
no.
like, so people used to have problem with friendship?
No, that's not it. I mean, I didn't get to, or I didn't start having, or I have not built the kind of things or the kind of boundaries I have right now, if I've not had all of those issues.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think I would say I grew up way faster than even my age. And that's why there are so many things that I know, or you see that I have certain kind of esteem. Even me myself, I'm always scared for myself sometimes. It's how I see certain things and I really don't get shocked about it. Even though every other person would be like, oh God, wow. In my head, I'm like, why are you shouting, bruh? Didn't you see this thing coming? Do you get? So I think it's just that built up, and the fact that I think I just got I somehow just trained myself, or I just grew, you know, more than my age and all of that. Then you also, there's something you made mention on earlier, and I was also thinking about it, but it's all right.
I'd like to know what you are thinking about. Kiki and I are looking at you.
Oh, see,
What are you thinking?
the thing is, I try as much as possible not to allow things get to me.
you.
Yes, because, okay, let me give this very perfect example, right? Again, I hear people say that, oh, you are my friend, we are this, we are that. You consider me to be your friend. Then when you now reach certain kind of places, you forget that I'm your friend. Then you now do certain kind of things. And when we are done sorting that out, you expect me now to come and shine it with you. Who are you playing with? Are you whining me or something? So that's why I've not been, I mean, with all of those scenarios, I just knew that, okay, the reason there's this word, acquaintance and all of those words did not fly from the sky. They are there because they are supposed to. So don't try to see people, and because of you guys have good, what do they call that now? For the first time you guys are meeting, you have good, strong, you know, conversations and vibes. Doesn't mean that that should continue. Doesn't mean you should not start taking that person as your friend, right? So you guys have good banter, and that's where, to be honest, that's where the lady vibe came in. Because any day I see you, we go vibe. If we don't have a connection, if we don't have a reason to talk, please just stay where you are. Then the day we'll talk, we'll talk. Because I've seen people that, just like you talk about the whole emotional whatever, don't worry, I have it 100. Do you understand? It's easy for me to, I easily get attached to people. But when I notice that, okay, all the people that you've actually tried to be friends with, how far? I had to ask myself that, how far? Person when they claim say you be my friend, you're only my friend when I dey close to you. When I'm not there, you're talking something else on my back. I literally had to tell somebody last year, I say, Oga, you say you're my friend, Abby, but there's so many things that I hear you say. I don't need to be there. Person where they claim you be my friend. Person will be my friend. They come tell me, wait till you they talk. And now you they claim say you be my friend. The person when they tell me, no, they claim say you be my friend though. I don't know if you get the gist. So I just saw these things and I'm like, okay, you know what? As it is, we are literally workers. We are working in the same place and that's how you should be. We are probably acquaintance and that's how we should be. You're my neighbor and that's how we should be. When you are able to specify these things, know who is who and how we should go, trust me, you will live a better life.
You know, I know you've said your point, but I feel like the reason why you can come to this kind of conclusion is because of something extremely bad that has happened that can throw you to an extreme.
No,
because
these things have happened repeatedly. It is not just a meeting.
It's not like
you
when
you just
to
complained about
extreme.
It is not about extreme.
I feel like there's some people
it's experiences
that,
and you learn from
that
it.
Maybe, let's say, a minor accident will happen to, and they automatically get scared of taking cars, bike, or anything. And there's some, their leg will break, hand will break, leg will break, and then the next minute again, they will just say, the first thing I want to do is go on a bike again. So people have their own definitions of extreme or how they handle issues. So God's beauty, just remember that I already said that this year is new me, new you.
I'm excited to see
new you and God's beauty.
I'm excited to see how that will turn out. We still have a lot to discuss about how we overcome challenges with last year. But let's take this short break, and when we return, we'll look at coping mechanisms and lessons learned from last year. Stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for sticking with us. We're still discussing overcoming last year's challenges. But before we continue with the serious matter, we'd like to give a very special shout out to a follower of our show and a friend of the house, actually. Her name is Mary, and today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Mary.
Happy birthday.
Happy
to
birthday,
you.
Mary.
Okay, why are you starting with the song, but it's fine.
Birthday to you.
Mary,
Happy birthday, happy
Mary.
birthday, happy birthday to you.
And that's
Mary,
how we
I
show,
love you. Yes, I love you.
that's how we show our love to all our followers. Okay, back to serious things. We're talking about the challenges that we faced. You did mention some things. I mentioned challenges I faced with growth, development, handling in discipline, comparisons, and all of that. So let's talk about coping mechanism. What coping mechanism do you think worked out for you in 2024? How were you able not to just break down one day, take sniper, or just go and hang up and say, God, I'm not doing it again? How were you able to go through every day and every time, hoping that something better is at the end of the tunnel? What was the coping mechanism for you?
You said something better at the end of the story. I just remembered one skit that I watched yesterday, and she wrote my 2025 goals. He said, I'm going to bring touch at the beginning of the tunnel.
I will tell you, what is life doing there?
There's someone that said, I'm going to bite more than I can chew. I will eat my cake and have it back.
There's one about that they wrote, I'm going to take everything that Caesar has.
I
If
mean,
the boss Caesar away, let's
make
come and
up
collect it
collector.
back from
So it's all that glitters is not going. Say, I will remove the sharp and take.
It's gold though. It's not gold though. I will pack everything.
Honestly. Do you know that's actually coping mechanism for people, not
I mean,
taking things seriously?
seriously, yeah.
Like, okay, as the worst thing happened, let's move on to the next. But let's discuss
Because
it.
that's
What
how
do
it
you
should
think
be,
was
actually.
coping
No, but let's start
mechanism
with
for you?
Kiki.
Well, for me, it was, let me say that it was laughing about everything and prayer. It was like, there were situations that were really, really bad for me last year that I felt like I was so scared. I felt like I was going to even die at some point, where I just felt like, no, this thing is not going well. I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking about all the terrible things that I can imagine in my head. So what do I do about it? I prayed at some point. And in some situations, I discussed it and then we laughed about it. Sometimes the things that they even replied me while we were laughing still pay me. I'll still go back and go and pray again. So it was just like laughing about it and praying. Prayer especially did it for me last year, because my life was like a testimony last year, testimony of so many things that
Hallelujah.
I have
Amen.
been through for the last 20-something years of my life. So last year was just like God showing me that I've been there all along, and this is an evidence that, okay, take
still going
it.
to be here.
I'm still here. And that's why when I was saying that this year just told me, like, year of completion, it's almost like God said, I've done it to
Started something.
80% last year. This year, I'm going to do 100% for you. And then complete everything that you thought that was impossible. This is the year that it is possible. Impossible things are possible through.
That's very
Christ,
amazing.
our Lord.
How about you, God's Beauty? How did you cope through challenges last year?
I think you should first of all understand that I'm a human being and I am bound to a lot of things. Challenges will come, all of these things will happen, right? Then secondly is the faith she talked about. And I remember yesterday saying that you see what prayer helps you do. Like, it helps you to just calm down a bit, because you just have that feel that, okay, I cannot do this thing. I mean, I cannot do this on my, unless you take over. So you just believe that, okay, there's an Heavenly Father and is definitely going to, watch over you and all. Then I think the next one for me was taking a break. Like, most of those times where people come and do, guys, what you went to do nails? Bro, it was self-reflection. Do you get what I'm saying?
Self-care.
There are things that when you do it, it just helps you to relax. Then you know that, okay, how do I figure out the rest of these things? Do you get what I'm saying? So me, going for self-care, doing my nails and all of these things, those are times where I'm just sitting down and somebody's taking care of my nails and I'm just thinking, okay, what's the way forward? Why is this thing not working? I made mention of the whole cost thing because I feel like I'm not supposed to be where I am. I'm supposed to be a bit more like higher. I see the things that, let me not say my mates, because that would be sounding like me comparing. But it's not me comparing. There are healthy competitions. So it's just me saying that, okay, at this age, you're supposed to be done with it. You're supposed to be earning this and not begging for it. Do you get what I'm saying? So I just see these things, and those are the times where you not think about it and, okay, what's the next step, right? So that's where the whole discipline, I don't know how somehow I've always had that in me. when I say I want to do this thing, I want to do it. I am not a procrastinator. I am not indisciplined. I am not all of those wrong things. Trust me. If I say I want to do this thing, I do it. And I don't need anybody to come and hail me for it. Actually, when, you know where you say, I carry your matter for my head, that's exactly how I see my business. Do you get what I'm saying? Once I see where the challenge is and I know what to do about it. I mean, like I would always say, for you to be able to take care of a problem, you have to first of all know what the problem is. And knowing what the problem is you saying that you understand where the root is coming from, where the problem they grow out from.
Yeah.
Once you're able to know that, I mean, there's nothing it's more like you have solved the problem already because you already know what it is. So it's not looking at, okay, what are the ways forward? Do I seek a professional help to take care of this? Do I take a course to take care of this? Do I meet someone to take care of this? Do I need, an accountability partner to take care of this, So yeah, that's
So yeah, we've talked about coping mechanism, but with handling challenges with last year, we cannot take away the fact that there was also defense mechanism. Which one would you think worked out for you? Now let me give you different ones that there's denial. There's denial where you can deny from January to July that there's no problem here, like the way we started the show, telling you how people like to. You can start with denial, you can start with suppression, you can even start with transferred aggression where your relationship around you suffers. So I want to ask you, I want you to be very honest, did you find yourself falling into any of this defense mechanism trap as a way to cope with some of the challenges that came with last year?
No, me, I just kept it, I kept it cool.
You did not suppress anything. You didn't try to lash out on people.
No, lashing out has never been my thing. I would rather not talk about it. Like, I would rather act like the thing doesn't exist than that's denial than to now say that, okay, let me just lash it out. I think I've also had that issue where my mom would say, Odinu in Yoruba is almost like, you don't know, like to open up to certain things. And then when I open up, she's like, all these things in your mind, I'm like,
so
these are the issues. So I'm suppressing it when I see that if I discuss it, you might not necessarily capture what I want to say. Sometimes you can be so emotional that the things that you want to say, you're not necessarily voicing it out because at that time you are in a zone that is just saying so many gibberish and stuff like that. And then when I now say it out when I'm not ready mentally, I now start overthinking the things that I said, and I'm like, no, I shouldn't have said this. No, I
and that's more regrettable
no,
because you start feeling like, why did I even open up to say it this way? And I hate regret for anything. I hate it.
So yes, maybe I would say that my own defense mechanism was suppression. I just suppressed the issue and then laugh about it as usual.
I would say maybe I did transfer aggression a few times. A few times. I'm very sorry for close family members that did feel this. I did like, don't talk to me, just stay away, and all of that. So I was going to talk about the way I was able to cope with some things, and I'll mention support system. I've learned recently that even if you're not very wise, if you're a foolish person, like they born you foolish, you don't have brain. If you roll with the wise people, you take some wisdom from them. And I think that's what happened to me in 2024. I would say it many times. That's why I'm very big on relationship, because I know what good relationship have done. Yes, I'm still trying to figure out how to do the dynamics. I have some lapses here and there, but I can say with a very full, bold chest that relationship have helped me from making wrong decisions. Have helped me to be calmer in my resolutions and everything. And just listening to wise people talk has really helped. And I'm talking parents, I'm talking leaders, I'm talking people that are older than me.
Me because
not you, because I'm trying to help you with your finances and you are trying to cut me.
God, I'm doing a lot.
But having people that you can talk to and they're ready to listen, not to listen with a judgmental tone, but listen to want to be there for you. Honestly, I know that this life, you can't even do it alone. Me, I am a testament of that. I can't do this life alone. I've had people that, were there for me. So that was my major, even in finances, all these financial advice, I had the ones that they came with the advice and they came with the resources. You get what I'm saying?
Amen, someone.
So that's how it works for me. So tell me some lessons that you've also learned from last year. And let's spread it. Let's do a 360 lesson check. Let's talk about your finances. Even though on Friday, we're going to spread this much more because Friday is for our finance. Let's talk about lessons you learned for your health. We're not even explaining that relationship, professional development, different things that you know that, I shouldn't do this year.
So, okay. I think there's one thing that came to my head. No.
Okay.
there was this thing. I think it was only me and Mira that was on set that day. I don't know if anybody was with us, but there was this therapist that came that was lecturing us on a Wednesday about the relationship with people, right? And how you think that, okay, I say this thing and this person is not supposed to get offended by it because to me, it was just like a normal thing. So I think the lesson I learned, like when it comes to relationship with people, is the fact that when you say something, you don't know how the other person is going to receive it. And you should not, because me personally, right? When oftentimes when people say that, oh, God speak to you, you're rude. I don't see that as being rude. I see it as me being blunt. Do you get? I see it as me being blunt. I just tell you how it is. Oh, this person, I tell you, oh, bro, that is not working. I'm sorry.
Until you meet your
Do you
kind.
get?
Fire will
I've
jump
not
fire.
met. I'm sorry. I don't think there is, because if there is, my mouth is that sharp. Sorry, but back on it, right?
Beware.
But back on it, no, I'm no longer that person, right? But I am just saying that during that time, there was this sweet thing that happened last year, right? Where I entered an environment and I literally just said how I felt about the environment. Someone literally picked offense about it. And to the person, it was like I was insulting the person. Bro, I just entered this place and said, nah, this place is not smelling nice. Tell me why you're angry about it, right? But not until I literally listened to that lady speak, then I understood that, okay, because it's a free word, I'm free to say anything. The other person might not really see it the way I'm seeing it. To that person, it was his good food, and to him, it was smelling okay. But to me, I'm like, you just scatter this environment. So you see it. So I just learned that okay, people would actually see things certain way. And so what I've done with that is the fact that, I try as much as possible to stay quiet, especially when they do not ask me anything. So imagine I entered that environment. I probably would have just gone and collected the water I came there for and just get out. Do you understand? But because of, it's a free word. I just felt like, why is this place smelling like this? Bro, what's going on? The guy just picked offense.
If I'm the one, I wasn't pick offense.
Are you whining me?
Into my space to ask me why
it is
something
not
is
your
smelling this way.
space. It is not your space. It was like a kitchen, for example. Do you get what I'm saying? It was the kitchen. You are doing something that I've not.
What I know is
I've not perceived that before.
This is
So
not
it
part
was
of a
normal.
conversation, but let me just say that.
Tell me.
Sometimes your food, people put a lot of effort in making food.
God, I
And
beg.
probably the food is sweet, but the smell did not project that. So
honestly, it
so
wasn't
funny.
It wasn't funny.
I would have
You
stoned
see,
you.
now I'm laughing about it. But back then, I was so pissed.
Yes,
because tell me why you're angry about what I said. To me, it was just a normal stuff. It's just like when somebody enters here and say, I like the way this place is smelling. That's okay. Even if you say, I don't like the way this place is smelling. That's how you see things. You feel me? I don't know why somebody should be angry about it. But again, not until that lady spoke, I'm like, but trust me, you sure do not make any sense to me. But it has just made me to, talk less and just talk when I'm...
And about communication, if we're talking about lessons we've learned in the communication angle, I'll say for me is that I learned to not take things to heart very seriously in 2024. Because I realized that sometimes when I'm agitated about something, I want to flare out. I want to tell you that this, and trust me, when I'm flaring out, I can speak English. I don't know, the English will just be coming.
Just come.
The vocabularies will change. In fact, if I'm typing at a point, I'll be like, no, let me rephrase. So you know that it's from the bottom of my heart. So I'm ready to shalaye, as they will say it. And this is not how it ought to have been done. I expected more from you. And I realized that, my sister.
I don't really send you like that.
Rest
Rest in
perfect
Jesus'
word. Rest. Can you just overlook something? So I learned in 2024 that communicating properly helped to just make some big issues become small. Sometimes I realized that some things I took to heart so seriously was probably a misconception somewhere. It happened a lot in 2024 with me. I'll be like, because my mind is thinking at 10 pace,
You're
10 times.
overthinking.
No, but that's how they bore me.
Overthinkers.
Bad excuse, but I'm thinking, and I realized that when I discuss with this person, the person did not see it that way, and I can genuinely see their expression to that. I'm so impressed. I didn't know that's how you saw it, and then you're not feeling like, oh, so I was the foolish one eventually. So that made me just calm down a whole lot. And it made me give people the benefit of the doubt. It's something I didn't want to tread in a lot in 2024. But I said, growing up and adulthood sometimes makes you give people benefit of the doubt. Especially when you realize you yourself, you are a work in progress. You yourself, you make errors. You say some things to people that you did not mean it as such, but they take offenses at it. So when they do it to you too, act like if it was me, how would I have taken this? You understand? And really made me feel like my 2025, you guys, you're not ready for it. So, Kiki, you've not said yours.
Well, what lessons did I learn last year?
How to manage your 20 million.
See, forget. I don't think.
God, I
one
beg.
thing
I
I
think
will
that's the
always
next
say.
course I want to take.
I need to say this now, and people should know this forever. I don't want to ever learn to spend money. I want to be spending it.
Trust
John,
fund
I just want
kids.
to be spending it. I want to
Trust
be
fund
making
kids.
it and be spending
You want to
it.
be purchasing without checking the label, not knowing the
No, I will
price
still
tag.
check.
God,
Let's
I
be
beg.
coming down. I will check the label and buy it. I'm not going to check the label and be like,
We are not
What's
ready for that
going on?
life
1
yet.
minute. If you don't leave this place in 1 minute, something's going to happen. So for me, finances last year was for, I think over the years, if we'll talk about coping mechanism, was before I used to, when I feel like I'm overwhelmed, I actually go and lodge myself in a hotel.
Oh.
I just look for one small
Plenty
apartment
money.
and just relax and just be like, Kiki. Because the way I feel is that sometimes in my space, the walls closing on me. Like,
okay,
literally, it's
okay.
a mental
I
thing.
feel you.
The walls starts closing in and I'm feeling like I'm struggling to breathe. So the first thing I just do is excuse myself from that space. Then go and relax and just be like, okay, people should first, hello, please make Indomie and egg for me. And then while I wait, I'm just thinking, okay, so what happened? Why are you feeling this way? Are you better now? Do you need to talk to somebody? All of these things, I go with my book and pen so that I'm
jot
writing
things
the
down.
things that... So at that point, yes, I'm
Writing
just...
is very
did help.
therapeutic in
Journaling.
nature.
Yeah, so
actually.
it's just like, okay, I'm out the space that demands me to go and wash plates, to sweep the floor, to do this.
To do house
I'm
girl
just here
duties.
to do nothing but figure myself out. So that's just the way I see it when I leave the house. That I'm going here to do nothing
That's
and
an
figure
interesting one
myself
to
out.
try this
To be
year.
honest, writing is actually very, very good. Apart from the fact that I am a writer, let's keep that aside. But every time that I feel like, okay, I don't know what's going on, especially when anytime I feel like I don't know what's going on, I'm actually very emotional at that point. I'll just take up a book and I start writing. It can be me, it can be about me, it can be about anything. I think that's where the whole writing and, storytelling actually came up here. Because I remember right from when I was still like in secondary school and maybe something happened in the class, or probably because I'm also one of those persons that if I don't get good grades, I'll start feeling bad. Apart from the fact that my dad is going to shoot you, I'll start feeling bad about it because I'm like, okay, why is this person? I know that I'm this person, have brain like the way I have. So what's going on? Do you get? So most of those times I'll just take up a book and I just start writing. Again, it's probably about me. It might even be about the class. Okay, what's going on in the class? I'm feeling like this. I just jot it down. And trust me, by the time you
even
finish,
remember
you get better.
that I
You feel
wrote
better.
one poem like about 6 years ago.
You feel better.
About the tragedy of the comfort zone. That was what
Very
it was
interesting
about.
title.
Because at that time, that's when I wanted to start my politics, and a lot of people were just telling me, "You are too young to be doing this thing. Find something else to do." And then I just thought about it that this is the tragedy of your
The
comfort
comfort
zone. That
zone,
you are doing fine. So why do you want to go into this
We
thing?
need to have that published. What do you say about that?
Not publish
Sounding very
anything.
interesting.
I still have
Tragedy of the
I
comfort
still
zone.
have it like.
I don't know. This
in
one
my
is not a
notes.
coping mechanism that people will quickly tick. But for me, food did help. Like, if I'm going through the worst of moments,
Can you imagine?
seeing a
No, but
well-prepared
I think I've seen
Instagram
people.
should
I've
post
seen people
all
that
these
no,
food
but for
series in this
for
office.
real, I think there's an atom of truth in what she's saying, because I think I've watched movies or something where she's I mean, we see her now, she's very obese, yeah, because at that time when she was quite younger, she had issues with the fact that she doesn't have a dad. It was only her mom, and her mom wasn't taking care of them properly. So there's nobody to talk to. It was more like it was only food that was there. Anytime she
option.
goes to the fridge, there's food there. So because of that, she's always eating and all. Exactly. And see her now. So it's a coping mechanism, but I don't think it's a healthy one.
Okay, maybe they've not been offering you sweet food. They offer you some really nice meals. I don't have any problems again in my life. This has solved it all. This has been a very interesting, a very vulnerable one. Like, this vulnerable podcast where people share their lives out. And we hope that you did learn a few things. I think I did learn from that journaling stuff, and I'm going to take it more seriously. Tomorrow, we're still talking about the New Year's series, and we'll be opening it up to talk about our health and relationships again. So please be with us again tomorrow, same station, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. at Official Upgrade TV, where is breakfast. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Saleh from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?